Did you get in there?
Okay, I'd like to call our meeting to order and welcome everyone on Facebook Live. And tonight, because of the weather, we have some of our mayors joining us by Zoom and some of our directors. So we will begin our December 15th meeting of the TNO, Conseil de Territoire Non Organisé de Lac Mougeot de la MSA de Pontiac. And I'd like to, first of all, have a resolution to open the meeting and take the attendance. Moved by Councillor Mayor. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And now I will take the attendance. Please say present or présente when I call your name. Corey Spence.
Present.
Carl Mayer.
Present.
Brent Orr.
Present.
Alain Gagnon.
No,
No, we won't say where he was. Maurice Beauregard.
Present.
Donnie Gagnon. Joining us.
Present.
Okay. Edward Walsh.
Present.
Christine Francoeur. Jean-Louis Corriveau. Terry Lafleur. Sandra Armstrong. Lynn Cameron. Doug Russell.
Present.
Bill McCleary.
Present.
Doris Rongier by Zoom.
Present.
Colleen La Riviere by Zoom.
Present.
Karen Kelly by Zoom.
Present.
Odette Godin.
Present.
Ici. Bernard Watt.
Présent.
Annie Vaillancourt. By Zoom. Travis Laddister. Kim Lesage. Natasha Guimet by Zoom.
Present.
Merci. Julian Gagnon.
Present.
Colleen Jones. Cindy Phillips by Zoom.
Present.
And Jason Durant, PC.
Present.
Thank you. Merci. Go on to item 2. Just a reminder that COVID-19 measures, we have a policy of having our meetings to enable people in the Pontiac to follow our agendas and our meetings and join in through Facebook Live. And the meeting is being recorded. It needs to be, and it will be posted tomorrow on our MRC website. Also, I just will remind mayors and directors present that if you leave your table, please wear your mask and respect the distance of 1 meter from each other. 3, I've already talked about the recording of the sitting and Facebook Live. Number 4, I will read the declaration of language of your choice. Je rappelle l'importance pour les membres du conseil régional et les autres participants à la séance de s'exprimer librement dans la langue de leur choix. Une ressource sur place sera disponible pour assurer une traduction au besoin. I'd like to reiterate the importance for regional council members and other participants sitting to express themselves freely in the language of their choice. A resource on site will be available to ensure translation if necessary. Now go on to the statement of the Warden's Declaration of Decorum. Nous sommes élus par les gens de Pontiac pour les représenter au mieux de nos capacités. Ils s'attendent à ce que nous menions nos réunions d'une manière professionnelle. J'écouterai très attentivement les débats et les discussions de cette réunion. I will be listening very carefully to the debate and discussion in this meeting, and if I hear any words of negativity or criticism of anyone else, I will stop the meeting and ask that person to apologize. Thank you. We will now, number 6, have the reading and adoption of the TNO agenda. Could I have a resolution to adopt it? Moved by Councillor Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Number 7, declaration of interest. As a declaration of interest or conflict with this agenda. Okay, seeing none, go on to number 8. I need a resolution to adopt the minutes of our last sitting, moved by Councillor Armstrong. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. Number 9, public question period. Are there any members of the public here who would like to ask a question on this particular agenda? Don't see any. Okay, thank you. We'll go on to number 2, question public. We don't have any questions on the TNO agenda. Now we'll go to number 11, accounts paid. Annie Viancourt will give us a report, and then we'll have a resolution. Annie?
Okay, hi everyone. Hope you can all hear me. So for the TNO in the past month, we have expenses totaling $67,105.07. A lot of that was road maintenance and purchase of materials for that as well, like culverts. And there was also an amount paid to Rapid des Joachim for our annual waste management fees that we pay. So yeah, that's about all the expenses for the last month.
Are there any questions of Annie Viancourt on her report? Okay, seeing none, could I have someone?
I will.
You will move it, Doris? Moved by, oh,
Okay.
Karen Kelly, pardon me. Thank you, Karen. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. We'll go on to number 12, the TNO Annual Report 2021 Fire Safety Cover Plan. We have Julian Gagnon here to give the report, and then we'll need a resolution. Go ahead, Julian.
Yes, so the Fire Safety Cover Plan Annual Report is a document that gets adopted every year by every municipality across the MRC, including the TNO. So tonight we are adopting, there's a resolution put forward to adopt the annual report as completed by the MRC for the TNO, which dictates all the actions that must be completed in every year throughout the Fire Safety Cover Plan.
Thank you. That was very short and complete. Any questions? All right, thank you very much, Julian. So I have a resolution to approve this, moved by Councillor Orr. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. And the reason I'm saying Councillor for those who are listening, with the TNO, I am the mayor, and our usual mayors are the councillors of the TNO. On to number 13, which is the bylaw expenses and revenues of the TNO for the year 2022. Annie Viancourt.
Okay, yes, so this, you can look at the budget summary that is in ID side. And we also have in there the bylaw that needs to be adopted tonight. So it has all of the amounts for the budget per department. I'll just go through the summary for everyone here. So for the TNO budget for 2022, not a huge change from last year. The first thing maybe I want to mention, so in the revenues, the first line is always the taxes that comes from all the property owners in the TNO. The valuation of the properties did increase from 24 million to 29 this year. So in order to keep the taxes on the same level as last year with maybe just a small increase, we've reduced the taxation rates. On a réduit le taux de taxation from 0.75 to 0.63. So it gives about a 2% increase on the regular taxes that are billed. So the total taxes for 2022 will be $348,487. That is made up of the regular taxes that I just mentioned, $183,317. And also, there's also an amount, a fixed amount for road maintenance that is taxed to everyone for $102,690. Also, the outfitters pay road maintenance too for a total of $6,500. And what is new this year that wasn't in the budget last year is the helicopter air medic services for emergencies. So that is a $16 flat rate that will be added on to the tax bill to everyone except for commercial leases and outfitters. So that is a total of $14,064. That's why you see a difference in taxes for 2022 compared to 2021. And you'll also see that same amount in the expenses. So that's for taxes. Then the second line has the compensation tenant lieu de taxe, which comes from the government. So that's $161,039. Permits and licenses, we budget $1,000 there. Transport is actually like all the road maintenance and any other work improvements that are done. So for that, we get $209,000 in revenues. That comes from the leases, $200,000, and there's a $9,000 that's a couple of contributions as well. For interest, so that's interest that we may collect on late payments for taxes, so $5,500, and then other revenue is $3,500. So that's a total of $728,526 for the revenues. In expenses, general administration is $192,156. Most of that, $146,000 of that is paid to the MRC for staff services, basically, that manage the TNO. Other than that, there's the auditors that do the financial statements for $8,000, postage expenses, and any other supplies, office supplies, and that are needed there, and also engineering services, $1,200. Then we have public security. That's where you'll see the increase from last year. So that's a total of $50,742. So that's where we added the airmedic services of $14,000. The other amounts are $19,000 for the police services, and then just our overhead expenses of $1,900. Then we have our waste management, road maintenance. So $426,062 is what's budgeted. So about the same as last year for all the road maintenance. And also when there's other larger projects, sometimes they're financed by the government. So it may actually be a lot more that is spent, but some of it we get back in grants. For waste management, the total is $41,916. So basically, again, the same as last year is what we pay. We have a few municipalities that we pay for the services that they offer the TNO for the waste management. Then we have aménagement et développement régional. So that is $17,250. That goes basically $8,900 of that is shares that are paid to the MRC for development. And then we have some bank fees for $400. And then we have all of the overhead expenses that are spread out through each department. So that's mainly maintenance of vehicles and insurance. If there's any frais de déplacement, hébergement, training. So the expenses are also a total of $728,526. So it's a balanced budget, and we don't have to go to the surplus to balance it. So is there any questions on that?
Are there any questions of Annie? Again, Annie, so thank you very much. And we need a resolution, please. Moved by Councillor Gagnon, Alain Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And now could I have a resolution to close the sitting? Moved by Councillor Orr. All those in favor? Opposed? And the TNO sitting is closed and finished. We'll go on now to our conseil régional de la MRC de Pointe-à-Pitre, décembre, 2021. Could I have a resolution to open the meeting? Moved by Mayor Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. We've already taken the attendance and it doesn't seem to have changed. Number two, I'd like to remind everyone that the meeting is being recorded and it's also on Facebook Live. We'd like to welcome everyone from the Pontiac who is watching. And this will be available on our MRC website by tomorrow. The declaration of language of your choice. I'd like to reiterate the importance for regional council members and other participants in the sitting to express themselves freely in the language of their choice. Une ressource sur place sera disponible pour assurer une traduction au besoin. The declaration of decorum, statement by myself. We are elected by the people of the Pontiac to represent them to the best of our ability. Ils s'attendent à ce que nous menions nos réunions d'une manière professionnelle. I will be listening very carefully to the debate and discussion in this meeting, and if I hear any words of negativity or criticism of anyone else, j'arrêterai la réunion et demanderai à cette personne de s'excuser. Je vous remercie. Go on to the reading and adoption of the agenda. Could I have a resolution, please, to adopt it? Moved by Mayor Leffler. All those opposed, and that carries. Are there any declarations of interest or conflict on this particular agenda? If so, please speak up. Okay, we don't seem to have any, so we will continue. Number 7, I need a resolution to adopt the minutes of our last sitting in November, moved by Mayor Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Presentations. We have a presentation via Zoom from Madame Joanne McCann from the Old Fort William Cottagers Association. Installation de gestion des jets près de la surface. This is about the near surface disposal facility at Chalk River. And are you with us, Joanne?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Welcome. Bienvenue. Please proceed. We're delighted to have you here tonight. Thanks for all.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joanne McCann. I represent the Old Fort William Cottagers Association. Our membership has started from the beginning when we learned of this mound. We've been opposed to it. It's the NSDF, and it's you also call it a contaminant mound. Also, 200 of our members signed a petition against it. 2022, this upcoming year, is really crucial because the licensing of the mound is going to happen. February and May next year will be the licensing hearings. So we're very close, and we need more municipalities supporting the 140 that are against the mound being so close to the river. For brevity, I'm going to address 4 key points. I'm not going to read this entirely, but I will be kind of trying to highlight the most salient points in this presentation. Most Canadians don't know that CNL is owned by 2 American companies, Fluor and Jacob, and SNC-Lavalin, and they call themselves the National Energy Alliance. Now, they've proposed this mound, and it's going to contain materials which, like, there's about over 100 buildings that right at Chalk River that'll be decommissioned. And then they're going to add buildings from White Shell, and that laboratories, that's a former nuclear site in Manitoba. And then federal nuclear liabilities, that really is a nuclear waste from other federal nuclear sites across Canada. So this waste, this whole plan is to do this over the next 50 years. We also have concerns about the decommissioning of Ralston. It's located closer to the Ottawa River. And you can see this international agency, it does not agree and it doesn't sanction this method of decommissioning. So point number 2, what can go wrong? CNL's own environmental impact statement if you want to know about that, it's on their website. It's of May 2021, and it's by an independent, oh, I'm not on video, sorry. And it's by an independent company called Golder. And they identified like flaws and problems with the cover of the mound and the liner. So they say it's going to disintegrate over time with the cover going first. Now, when that cover fails, water enters the mound and it's like a bathtub. It overflows, and those contaminants and dangerous radionuclides, they go into Perch Creek and into the Ottawa River. Everyone has been following the recent events in British Columbia and Tennessee and other states, and they really show that climate change is leading to extreme weather, which includes heavy rains. And then if we get a lot of melting snow, that can leach contaminants further into the river. So if that lining doesn't work, you will have leaching from the bottom, and then you'll have overflow. I think everyone knows here, we've all had our China shake. The Ottawa River is on a fault line, and we're in an earthquake, and the location is in a tornado zone. Now, another concern to us, and it's a major one, despite assurances from, the scientific community up at CNL, there are always opportunities for human error. You got Chalk River in 1952, 3 Mile Island in New York, and Chernobyl in Russia. Now on to point number 3. This total this is important. The taxpayer money expended at CNL is $1 billion annually. And yet they are not subject to financial reporting to the government. You and I cannot look online on the federal government, the public accounts, and find out what they're spending our money on. And that may not interest you, but it kind of says if they keep receiving this consortium, its contractual payments of $1 billion every year, it has no incentive to develop safer and more cost-effective approaches. Because we have 2 American companies and SNC Lavalin, they take on no risk or accountability for what can go wrong, and they can walk away with no liability. This next point is very important. They also have too much unilateral power. They kind of solely decided to bring nuclear waste from across Canada to Chalk River with no public consultation or governmental objections. And when they decided that, a lot of First Nations across Canada said that they didn't consult them about crossing their territory. And this waste is trucked on roads and highways. Which this kind of leads is that there's a lack of federal oversight. And we really don't have a meaningful policy on nuclear waste. That kind of leads to a void, and it has, in government policy, and it's allowed CNL to decide how Canada will deal with nuclear waste. CNL makes no claims, makes claims not based in facts or experience. They claim they will monitor the mound for 300 years and the cover will last for 550 years. Yet their independent impact statement negated and disagreed with their own claims. Now, we hate to criticize and not provide an option. The option is find a better location for a mound. There is a mound in France. There is a mound in Missouri. They are not located next to wetlands or the Ottawa River. Contamination can ruin a water source forever. Do we want that for the Kitchissippi, our Ottawa River, which is a beautiful heritage river? Our federal government needs a better plan for nuclear waste, meeting international safety standards, while consulting with First Nations and the public. Nuclear waste is a legacy issue. It continues for like thousands of years. hundreds of thousands of years, depending on which radioactive material it is, or what level it is, and how long lasting it is. We should take time required in a thoughtful manner and not worsen the situation for next generations. This is about common sense, the next point. We are not nuclear scientists. Oh, I'm falling, sorry. Pardon me. Though many of the former ACL nuclear scientists are against the mound, but we know that having this mound near the river is a corporate-driven, convenient, cheaper, but environmentally risky proposal that is getting close to reality, given that those hearings are next year. As civic leaders, I'd ask you, would you put a waste landfill site less than a kilometer from a river? We need to press, this is where the option comes in. We need to press the federal government through a careful and consultative process to locate a site on Crown lands adjacent, pardon me, or not too distant lands, because you want to minimize that shipping of nuclear waste, particularly on Trans-Canada Highway. So this is a common sense kind of approach. You know, when we talk to people, they get psyched out by it because it's nuclear science, but it's simple, just move it away from the river. Minimize that very damaging risk. Now, as you are municipal leaders, I want to share the next point, and it's a personal point. My father had his first job at ACL, and I understand that on both sides of the river, you're concerned about jobs and economic development. Legacy nuclear waste is a multi-billion-dollar liability to the federal government. They estimate all the nuclear waste in 2017 would cost $8 billion. So bring that forward to today's dollars. It is way more than $8 billion. And it is recognized that it will be spent in the Ottawa Valley, providing economic stimulus and jobs for decades. People commute to CNL from Shawville, all the Pontiac, as far as Arnprior, and those jobs are vital on both sides of the river. So my last kind of summary and my ask is, as municipal leaders, you may want to say, you know, this isn't in our purview, this is a federal matter, and we disagree. We believe that we've had so many municipalities join in and say, no, it's not worth the risk. Now, our newly elected MP, Sophie Chattel, has stated in her election platform that she would ensure the project will be done correctly. Is this good enough? Now, in fairness to her, we've requested a meeting with her, so we don't know yet. She hasn't been in the job that long. So when we do meet with our association, we'll find out what she means correctly. Now, her predecessor, Mr. Amos, said to us, let the government agencies do their job. Well, that is the most disconcerting part of this. The agency to approve the NSDF is the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission. And it was not that long ago observed by an expert panel that CNSC never refuses an industry proposal. Again, government oversight is absent. For this generation and the generations ahead, we ask that you join 140 municipalities, including the City of Montreal, and pass this resolution. And, you know, all those municipalities are very motivated because the river is the drinking water of 4 million Canadians. And we depend on our unity against the NSDF. Finally, in the river spirit, merci for your time and consideration, and best of the season to everyone.
Thank you very much, Joanne. And I'd like to simply say that Joanne and I had a meeting about 2 months ago, and at that point we had made a decision that she would come and make a presentation presentation in January, but in her council of Sheenborough moved a resolution last month stating exactly this, that they're requesting the government to locate the storage facility as far away from the Ottawa River as possible. And so I'm hoping tonight, while Joanne is actually still on with us, we have a recommendation also, as she pointed out, all municipalities from, where we're located down to Montreal have already taken a stand on that. Actually, our MRC had not. And I think this is something that we can all agree to support. So Travis, would you please put the resolution on, and I'd like to just read it.
Item number 9.
Item number 9, okay. I just would like to be able to read it. Thank you. Okay. So again, I really want to thank Mayor Ranger and her council for their leadership on this. I guess you could say that Sheenborough is most closely located right across the river from the site. So this was their resolution that was proposed by Rick Bradshaw, and it's in French and also English. So I can read it in French first of all. Résolu que le conseil municipal de Sheenborough, but in this case tonight we're going to be voting that MRC Pontiac, the Council of Mayors, and we will be urging the federal government of Canada to move the proposed new surface nuclear facility to a site well away from the Ottawa River, and to have the Director General send an accompanying, that was in the case of Sheenborough, and we could say our Director General will send an accompanying letter addressed to the Federal Minister of Natural Resources, providing a summary of the rationale for requesting this action by the federal government. So do we have our, okay, this is what I wanted. Thank you. So be it resolved that the Council of the MRC urge the federal government to move the proposed new surface nuclear disposal facility site in the Ottawa River, and that the Director General write to the Federal Minister of Natural Resources to ask for a summary of the rationale for the federal government's request for this action. This should also be copied to Andre Fortin and Sophie Chattel. Okay, could I have, would you like to move this, Mayor Beauregard?
I would just want to ask one question.
Yes.
Can we move this tonight, or does that not have to go on to the plenary before we can add something onto our agenda tonight? Because this wasn't on the plenary. I agree with it.
Do that again.
Are we?
Actually, because we already had the Sheenborough resolution, which they sent to us. Initially, we were going to support that tonight, but I thought that we could take the step and actually say the MRC Pontiac. I don't think it's something that needs a lot of discussion. So I would like to, first of all, ask someone to add it to the agenda tonight. Would you be willing to do that, Mayor Beauregard?
Yes and no. I just don't want to set a precedent when we asked before about adding stuff.
Yes.
The agenda had to be on the plenary. That's my logic. But I agree with the thing 100%.
Okay, could I ask perhaps another mayor to move the, thank you very much, Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. So we're voting now to add this to the agenda. Please raise your hand if you're in support of voting on this tonight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mayor, Carl Mayor. Okay, great. Well, it looks as if we have a majority. Thank you very much for that. So now we will call the question. I would like to ask, actually, Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong, would you like to take carriage of the resolution and move it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. All those in favor of the resolution? Is it unanimous? Is there anyone in opposition to this? No, so we'll record it as unanimous. Thank you very much. It's an excellent point that you bring up, and I, for one, have made it very clear in the last turn that we wouldn't do this. So we've made an exception tonight. From now on, we will, if there's something to be added to the agenda, we'll do the beginning, but we will make it a practice of sending everything to the plenary first. Are you in agreement with that? I see you smiling, Mayor Alain Gagnon.
Because it's been brought up in the past.
Yes, it certainly has, by yours truly. That's right. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much for the support. And I'm sure Joanne McCann is delighted to have our support on her presentation and resolution. Okay, thank you. that was the only presentation for tonight. And we've taken care of number 9, which was the resolution on CA. Now we'll go to the warden's report, which is a very brief one. I had the opportunity to go to a forestry mill in Coburg with Cindy Phillips, our Director of Economic Development. We had a very interesting tour. And why did we go? Because the particular owners are interested in possibly purchasing one of the mills in the Pontiac. So it was a great opportunity. So more about that later. We also had hoped to tour the Durham York Energy Center. Covanta is closed because of COVID. However, they have invited us to come in February, and I believe that our Council of Mayors and various directors of MRC and myself and Bernard Waugh will take the trip down to visit that and see exactly how they are coping with waste through an energy from waste facility. So Cindy Phillips and I actually had a Teams meeting with the Director of Waste in Durham. Bernard and I had a very eventful day and a half at the FQM in Quebec City. We had the opportunity to meet 6 different ministers and spoke to them on a variety of subjects. In particular, some of the highlights. Emmanuel Jehan, the person who advises the cabinet of the Lecat government on environment, and Minister Benoit Charest were there and speaking on waste. And I posed a question and I asked if the provincial government would look at long-term disuse of landfill and to consider energy from waste instead. And I received applause in the room, and he knows very well our hope and intention of having an energy from waste facility here in the Pontiac as we look at a solution overall for the Outaouais. We also had an opportunity to meet with, what is his position, Bernard? He reports to the Deputy Premier. Who was the gentleman that we met with? Anyways, we discussed with him the fact that we still have some unresolved flood victims who are still waiting for their finances, and he invited us to contact him directly. We also had the opportunity to hear Minister Laforêt from the Mamash, and she was speaking a lot about the need for something that we've recognized here as very important, and especially more affordable housing and rental accommodation. And the government are going to be making this a priority. And one other highlight, Monsieur Internet Haute Vitesse, he's actually an M&A who's been given the task of ensuring the rollout of, sounds like it's a big task, to have all of Quebec, 99% of Quebec, with high-speed internet by September 2022. And I asked him in particular about the Pontiac. And I did put, actually, he wrote his Facebook page. So we have it in writing that he's taking a special interest in the MRC Pontiac because of our vast territory and rough terrain. And he is going to watch in particular to make sure MRC Pontiac is connected on time. So this is why it's worth going to meetings. This was a meeting that the mayors were not invited to this time. This is just the November meeting that took place actually early December, right after the election, and it was just reason worth it, but it was a great opportunity to be able to speak one-on-one with some important people. And lastly, we spoke to the minister who looks after French language and the Minister of Travail et Emploi, so basically labor minister, and he would like to come to the Pontiac, and they were both very interested to hear in our concerns about no discrimination for our English-speaking people, but also that English-speaking people would like to learn French, and that we would like to see that funds are provided here in MRC Pontiac, not just to new Canadians, immigrants. So finally, I held a mayor's Christmas party, which was attended by a number of mayors, and then we had our plenary meeting The Shoot Kalunch had a Christmas party that I attended because I'm on that board. I went to a Trans Call-In board this morning in Val-des-Monts. And I'd like to just take this moment to remind all the mayors to continue sending in your suggestions for youth council representatives. We hope to have a meeting in January. I'm going to help you by going to speak to the 3 schools and hopefully have a chance to explain exactly what the youth council does, because I think then the students will come forward. And also I've been asked by Claude Gallipo, please let her know your intentions for Centraide. We have a way of either one-time donation, or you can have deductions on a monthly basis. And also January 29th, or Lac Les Paul, and we haven't chosen the location yet, but we will. That will be for our nearest planning. Thank you. That was just for information. You don't need to vote on it. Any questions about my report? Okay, thank you. We're going to events now, and this is our time or a chance for each mayor to speak about any upcoming events in their municipality. So we'll start with Mayor Russell from Rapide des Joachim.
We have our Christmas parade Saturday.
You have your Christmas parade on Saturday at 1 o'clock?
Yes, our Christmas parade is on Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Mayor Brantor.
No announcements, but I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Well, thank you very much for that. Mayor Ed Walsh from Clarendon.
No, nothing new in ours. We had our Christmas parade night already, and it was very successful. So kids enjoyed themselves, and we had a big turnout on Main Street in Shawville. So it was well enjoyed.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Go to Mayor Alain Gagnon from Bryson.
No, good evening. Nothing so far is planned for the rest of the year, but Merry Christmas.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Maurice Beauregard from Campbell's Bay.
All quiet, Campbell's Bay, with Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone throughout the Pontiac.
Thank you very much. Mayor Terry Lafleur, Otter Lake.
Same here. We don't have anything planned at the moment for the new year, but Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Mayor Bill McCleary, Shawville.
We have all our Christmas stuff out of the way, so now we're thinking about Winter Carnival. Haven't picked the date yet. And just a little addition to your Mr. Internet guy. If you're driving by making a connection in Shawville just before the Giant Tiger, there's some portable trailers there, and there's many spools of fiber optic cable.
Good
So
to hear.
things are happening.
Great. Thank
Merry
you very
Christmas,
much.
everyone.
Thanks, Bill. And Mayor Corey Spence from Little Zalumet.
Yes, so we had over the weekend a market and parade that was attended by a lot of people, and it was a huge success, and that was thanks to the MRC who helped support part of that as well. And for the remaining of the year, we're just looking forward to having the next Christmas from Zalumet to everyone else at the MRC. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong, Mayor of Mansfield.
Nos événements sont terminés. Nous avons eu le marché de Noël. We had over 700 people visiting the market at the Bryson House. We had 30 cars in the parade de Noël. And Merry Christmas, Joyeux Noël et bonne année tout le monde.
Merci. Mayor Christine Francoeur.
I just want to say that the Golden Age Club is having their Christmas dinner on Friday, and they're having problems right now. So anybody that can give them support, we'd appreciate it. And also, yes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you very much. Go to Mayor Carl Mayer from Elena Kaywood.
We have nothing to report. We had our parade on Saturday in the rain. And good turnout. We had 100 and some kids we give gifts to.
Wow.
We only have 20 in our town.
Lots of visitors. I guess the word got out.
The word got out. We didn't have addresses, so we give everybody a gift.
Good for you. That's hard to plan for.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you. Mayor Odette Godin, Mayor Waltham.
Well, Santa Claus came around to all the houses on the fire truck, which was a big hit. Gave all the kids candy. Residence Mier is having their Christmas dinner on the 22nd.
roast beef. Turkeys are hard to get, apparently, unless you're dating. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Merry Christmas. And
Thank you
Happy New
very much.
Year.
Mayor Jean-Louis Corriveau from L'Île de Grand Calumet.
No, nothing's coming on gallon, but Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mayor Lynn Cameron, Mayor Portage.
Harbor Square volunteers are giving a free dinner on December 25th. It'll be between 4 and 7. On the 31st, they're planning fireworks at midnight. And we too already had our Santa parade.
Okay,
Merry
that's wonderful.
Christmas.
Thank you. Now we'll go to our mayors who've been patiently waiting on Zoom. So we'll start with Mayor Karen Kelly from Thorne.
Hello, everybody. We had a fantastic turnout for Father Christmas on Saturday. We had about 30 children show up and they all received a nice gift. And it was a very, very nice turnout. And that's about all we have planned for now. Our Christmas tree is up and well lit.
Okay,
And
excellent.
other than that, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank you. Mayor Donnie Gagnon, Mayor of Chichester.
Nothing to report, but I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Doris Ranger, Mayor of Sheenborough. I think you're on mute.
Okay, nothing to report. But on behalf of our Sheenborough, our municipality, we would like to wish everybody a very happy New Year, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Doris.
And thank you for all your support to everyone.
Thank you. Mayor Colleen LaRiviere, Mayor of Litchfield.
Nothing to report. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Bonne année, joyeux Noël à tout le monde. Restez en santé. Thank you. Stay safe.
Merci beaucoup. Thanks, Colleen. Okay. Go on to 12 question period. We don't have any members of the public here, but number 13, we do have questions from the public. In fact, we have 5 questions. So I'm going to start with the first one. And this is from Nicolas Brodeur, who is the president of the Wood Producers Board in Pontiac. Here's his question. It's to the Conseil Régional des Maires. La révision du rôle foncier est une occasion pour l'identification de la nouvelle catégorie de nœuds forestiers enregistrés. Nous souhaitons que nous encouragions la mise en valeur des boisés privés en modulant le taux de taxation pour limiter le transfert de fardeau fiscal sur les producteurs privés. Comment comptez-vous y arriver? And I'm told that the response is coming from Bernard Waugh. Bernard, or also Jason Duran.
Yeah, about the taxation and the categories of immovables, we will send, we don't have the answer right now, but we are searching and we will send in the.
To Nicolas Brodeur.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Did you want to add anything, Jason?
Well, yeah, just make sure everybody understands the question. In other words, according to new legislation, it's possible for the municipality to accord tax cuts on forest producers. If they have a wood lot, they can have a tax cut if they're recognized as forest producers. So in other words, Monsieur Brodeur is saying if we could go along with this. So like Bernard said, we're going to look at this in details, having all the documents explaining this in detail. And what I suggest is take note of this, talk to our evaluation department as well, and come to explain this to a plenary with all the information we have. And then we can take decisions together. So in other words, this is my answer to Nicolas Brodeur.
Okay, and that's excellent because I think if we want to entice private versus property, especially those who have large forests and they're not even, maybe they're seasonal residents, this could be an incentive and an
For
opportunity.
sure, it encourages the good practices of forestry. In other
Super.
words.
And I'll ask you to stay right there at your mic because the second question is also from him, forestry related. I'll just read it and you can answer it and then I'll add to it. Quel avenir pour l'industrie forestière du Pontiac? Est-ce évaluer le potentiel et la valeur de la forêt et les possibilités forestières qui est disponible autant sur le territoire public et le territoire de proximité privée. Comment justifier l'approvisionnement des travailleurs et l'exportation de la richesse hors de notre région? Do you want to start, Jason?
Well, this is a pretty complicated question when you think about it, where to start. I just can say, yes, we are very aware of the possibilities either for Crown land or private land. And yes, we're really under its full potential, that's for sure. However, there's for different reasons, as we know, the reason why we're not at our full potential. But I know we're working the most we can here at the MRC. I'm talking for myself. We're doing everything in our possible to try to bring up to our full potential. But as you know, we have labor problems, we have mills, we have the conjuncture. There's all kinds of reason that ends up with the reason why we're here. So like I say, I think it's staying positive, try to focus and try to compare small steps, but how can I say, des petits pas, mais des vrais pas, et travailler ensemble. Donc, c'est sûr que, comme j'ai déjà dit un moment donné, ça me fait toujours de quoi de voir du bois sortir du Pontiac, mais il y a aussi une structure industrielle, il faut respecter aussi. Puis c'est comment attirer le meilleur qu'on peut pour nous autres, les ponts du Souhait. Évidemment, ça nous prend des usines, c'est sûr. We need some mills again in the Pontiac for sure, but I think we have to work in general with the whole Outaouais and not say, so we have to go and get our piece of the cake, I think.
Perfect. I'd like to add to this is that we do have Nova Silva who will be coming back to us in probably February or March, and they're going to be giving us a report. We gave them a list of ideas, which was everything from community forest, the biomass project, reopening some mills, transformations, and they are going to, what we wanted is to have an objective company that's had a lot of forestry experience across Canada, itemize an action plan and give this back to us for our strategic plan of forestry. And also, I can say personally, as the warden, I have worked really hard on the 3 mill sites that we currently have, Davidson, Javelco, and Rapide. And I am very optimistic that we're going to have at least 1 and maybe 3 reopen. And they won't be as they were, but they will be the sites of transformations, potentially biofuel, potentially also we have our little site, which I've been in discussion with Sophie Chattel about that, about furthering the funding for research. And I like your point about just staying positive, because there's been so much negativity. And yet, if you look at how far we've come, right now, there are actually investors and business plans. And the Pontiac is on the map of forestry now in Quebec City. Before, it was almost like they had forgotten about us, but now we're being talked about a lot. And also with the Chief Forester report, you may have seen in the equity, simply saying that there will be opportunities on Crown land and private. And we know that our forest has been recovering, and that within 15 years, it will be back up to pretty much what it was 25 years ago. We need, in the next year and a half, to be ready and make sure that when the season reopens here, that we're the ones that are in the driver's seat and not, once again, being harvested by companies from outside, because we all, Jason was just saying to me, we all hate to see the wood leaving the pond. So thank you. We'll go on to number 3, which I believe Annie Vinecourt is going to address. This came from Pat Guyette, and it says Warden Taller, Planning and Development Budget 2020, $2,091,341. Budget 2019 was quite a bit less, $558,994. There is an increase of approximately $1.5 million for the budget 2020. Could you provide a chart indicating what these amounts are for? Annie?
Yes, okay, so I can explain basically what's included in this section. So we have in there the Fonds de Développement Stratégique, qui vient des quotes-parts des municipalités. So that comes from municipal shares. And in 2019, the budget was 40,000 and 2020 was 85,000. So that's a $45,000 difference there. That money is usually spent for FAR projects or any other projects where the MRC has to put in a certain contribution. Otherwise, we have all of the FRR different streams. So in 2019, we only had stream 2. So there was $518,994 that was in the 2019 budget in that section. That's not the total budget, but that's what it was on that line. And then in 2020, we started with the new pacte fiscal. Puis c'est là qu'on a ajouté les volets 3 et 4, so les projets structure, signature, innovation, puis vitalisation et coopération. So we have an extra stream 3, $208,861, and then stream 4 is $980,967. So when you put all that together, it makes the 1.5 million difference between 2019 and 2020. So it's basically all of the FRR streams that were increased significantly.
Thank you for that very clear explanation. We'll go on to question 4, also from Pat Guyette. Warden Toller, what are special projects in the budget? I see they were in the previous budget. Could you provide a chart, amount, name of program, etc., explaining these expenses? Annie?
Okay, special projects again is kind of different things that are pooled in there. So as the MRC is part owner in the Connexion FIP-Canuck, so the internet project that is in the Pontiac here, that's been here for many years, there's a share that the MRC has to pay into Connexion FIP-Canuck along with the other partners, which is the MRC Vallée de la Gatineau and our 2 school boards. So there is $20,000 that's budgeted there. I'm giving you numbers from 2022 for now. We also have our School of Arts that the MRC owns. So that's a building in Portage, which we pay hydro on. So that line's actually placed in there. And as well, we have our tourism information booth. So which we have some expenses for, especially when we hire summer students. So we have a $7,000 budget there. And for 2022 and Vision 2030, we put in $500 for document printing. In previous years, though, if we look back a couple of years, that total for special projects was significantly higher. Last year was 71,500 versus 35,000 this year. And that was due to Vision 2030, which was $20,000 budgeted there, which was funded by the FRR, and also the renewal of the PDZA, which also was funded by FRR. So basically, that's what sums it up.
Okay, thank you very much again, Annie, for that clear explanation. Question 5 is also from Pat Guyette, and it's concerning unpaid taxes of a particular property. And I think the answer to this is simply that the municipality are following up and working on a solution. Okay, thank you very much. So we will now go on to the coronavirus COVID-19 follow-up. I have simply to say that today in the Outaouais, there are 48 positive cases, new cases. Pontiac is still at 5 or less active. Our total historically is 465. And the vaccinations have been taking place in our schools for ages 5 to 11. The 3rd vaccination is available now for people who are 70 years and up. And they were saying that for 60 and up would be probably January. However, there is going to be an important announcement made tomorrow. And I think that what you're going to hear is that they need to, they're going to, with urgency, speed this up. And we will not have to wait until January. Also, teletravail has been emphasized, working from home for businesses. And They are very on in that the fact that it is highly contagious. I don't think it's having as strong health repercussions, fortunately, but it spreads easily. And I spoke to Geneviève Cote today, and she works as sort of second in command to Jose Villion. And she just said that she believes we're going to hear that travel plans are going to have to be interrupted. There will be an announcement about this because we have vigilant to make sure we're wearing masks, and this could be like the third wave. So, just unfortunate with the timing just before Christmas and New Year's, but we'll have to listen. There will be something tomorrow. And Bernard, did you want to say something just about how this, what the impact is on the MRC building?
Oui, l'annonce du ministre Dubé hier a quand même des impacts sur le personnel qui travaille à la MRC. So, Minister Dubé strongly insisted yesterday and recommended the organization actually to let us work at home. So the MRC, listening to that, we want to close the office. We will keep providing services in each department, but for the next weeks, so the week before Christmas and maybe the two first, at least, after Christmas holiday, a majority of employees will be working at home. So there's a real impact on the work at the MRC.
Okay, excellent. Any questions, comments about COVID? No? Okay, we'll go on to finances, and I need a resolution. Annie Biencourt?
Yes. So for the financial report for this month, we have, as usual, our accounts receivables. So they are at $1,178,615. As you know, we have all the economic development loans are included in there, and that's actually just about a little over $1 million, just so you see the difference. Like the rest is just regular accounts receivables. Then we have our list of bills that need to be paid, and those are a total of $263,692.63. And then we have a list of items that we paid in the last month, which total $257,011.87. And then we have travel expenses for council that were $687.15.
Is that it, Annie?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for report? Okay, could I have a resolution to accept this? Moved by Mayor Christine Prunker. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. We will now go on to general administration. Bernard Roy. We're going to start with 16.1. Vente pour taxe. Rapide, resolution, Bernard.
Il y a une résolution usuelle pour la vente pour taxe, pour la vente d'un immeuble pour non-paiement de taxe. So this resolution is to authorize the representative of the MRC, so myself as the DG, and Mrs. Jane Toller as the warden to sign the deeds related to lot 6216477. This is a rapid resolution. We will check if the number is the good ones tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Could I have a resolution moved by Mayor Christine Prunker? All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.2, évaluation, assessment, inspections. Bernard, a resolution.
Cette résolution est pour assurer un nombre de maximum d'inspections réalisées en 2022. So this resolution is to help the MRC Pontiac keep the assessment roll up to date and ensure the maintenance of this inventory in accordance with the Quebec Act respecting municipal taxation. So the resolution is to give a mandate to FQM evaluation to carry out 2,000 inspection before November 30th, 2022.
Thank you. Any questions? Go ahead, Mayor Beauregard.
So we had to have it done before May, because we know if we leave it to November again, if we we specify November and our teams get it in November, it's gonna put everybody behind.
I could add something that spread all the years, so maybe 1 quarter in the first quarter and so
Quarter
on.
each quarter, but I don't
Yeah.
agree to all by November because they can come in October to do them all, and then we're gonna be behind again.
Can we amend this to vote on it now?
As per recommendation of our department.
Okay, so Bernard is willing to amend the resolution right now
If a quarter is done every.
to
quarter,
give
then-
quarterly, yes.
Quarterly, yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
We go over 2,000. 500 each quarter.
Yeah.
Very good. Everyone in agreement with that amendment? Could someone move the amendment, please? Moved by Mayor Beauregard. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. And so now we will vote on the resolution as amended. Moved by Mayor Beauregard again. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's unanimous. 16.3, contract Relevel at the Assessment Department, contract with Relevel. Resolution, Bernard.
Cette résolution est dans le cadre du renouvellement d'une entente avec la firme qui est en support au département d'évaluation. So this resolution is to sign an agreement with the service provider in evaluation, Relevel, for a bank of hour of up to 1,500 hours of technical works at a rate of $63 per hour.
Okay, moved by Mayor Beauregard. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.4, redesign of the evaluation office space, resolution Gagnon.
Oui, donc ceci est une résolution pour un appel d'offres. La MRC a lancé un appel d'offres pour un entrepreneur pour construire des nouveaux espaces de bureaux dans les locaux de la MRC. So the MRC went to tender to redesign some office space within the MRC's evaluation department. The request for tender closed on December 7th at 2 p.m. The MRC had invited 12 local contractors for the work and received 2 conforming bids, with the lowest bid coming in at $14,764 plus tax from Boulet. The following resolution would be to authorize Bernard to proceed with the contract with this company.
Okay, thank you very much. Moved by Mayor Ed Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.5, Transcolin Rehaussement de Service, Resolution Bernard.
Renouvellement de l'entente donc de service avec l'entreprise Transcolin qui offre un service de transport collectif. So this resolution is to renew the service for year 2022. And an enhancement of the service is planned for mid-year, and the cost to be paid by the MRC for year 22 is $32,676.
Any questions? Okay, could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Marilyn Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.6, bylaw Assemblée of the MRC Pontiac year 2022. Bernard, resolution.
Ce soir, c'est l'adoption du règlement relatif aux rencontres pour l'année 2022 du conseil régional. So we have to vote on the bylaw, providing for the assemblies of the regional county Pontiac for the year 2022.
Okay, thank you. Moved by Mayor Lynn Cameron. All those in favor? By the way, I'm looking at the screen. So those who are joining us on Zoom, could I see a show of hands as well? All those in favor of the calendar? Thank you. Opposed? And that carries. 16.7, Calendrier 2022, Bernard and Travis.
Yeah, you just voted for the bylaw in the item 16.7. This is the calendar, and just for your information, take note that the regional council held on the third Wednesday of the month has been moved forward in September 2022 to Tuesday 20th. The reason is that the FQM Congress starts will start on Wednesday. So just to allow each mayor to go there, if they want to go there, just to not interfere with the FQM, we just move forward for one day the council on September.
Okay, very good. Any questions? Resolution to move that. Moved by Mayor Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.8, the MRC committees composition and membership. So we first of all start with the Comité d'analyse pour la collection d'art régional, resolution Cindy Phillips.
Oui, c'est pour la nomination des membres du comité d'analyse pour la collection d'art régional. So it's for the nomination of the committee members for the analysis committee for the regional art collection. You have a resolution before you, which would name Mayors Lynn Cameron and Alain Gagnon, as well as a representative member of the cultural community, a member representative of the community of artists, and a member representative of the general population.
Okay, I have someone move that resolution. Moved by Mayor Grunker. All those in favor? Opposed, and carries. 16.8.2, follow-up committee agricultural zone development plan, resolution Cindy.
Yes, oui, c'est pour la nomination des membres du comité de suivi du plan de développement de la zone agricole, or the PDZA. So we have a committee composed of one representative of the UPA, one representative of MAPAC, one representative of the Table agroalimentaire de l'Outaouais, one representative of the Economic Development Department of the MRC Pontiac, two representatives of the Regional Council of Mayors, one aspiring or young farmer, and one farmer from the territory, as well as one agronomist. So you have a resolution before you to appoint Mayors Brent Orr and Ed Walsh as representatives of the Regional Council of Mayors of the MRC Pontiac, as well as Ms. Shanna Armstrong as representative of the Economic Development Department.
Okay. Moved by Mayor Jean-Louis Corriveau. All those in favor? Opposed, and that is 16.8.3, the Tourism Advisory Committee resolution, Cindy Phillips.
Oui, c'est pour la nomination des membres du comité consultatif en tourisme, the nomination of the members of the Tourism Advisory Committee. You have a resolution before you, which will elect 3 elected officials and 3 members of the Pontiac Tourism Association. And so you have before you to appoint Mayors Donald Gagnon, Bill McCleary, and Lynn Cameron as the elected representatives, and to appoint Robin Judd, Dennis Blado, and Adam Thompson as representatives of the Pontiac Tourism Association.
Okay, very good. Any questions? Could I have someone move this, please? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. And finally, 16.8.4, the PPJ Committee resolution, Bernard Watt.
Donc, renouvellement des membres du comité relatif à la PPJ. This resolution is to nominate on that committee, the PPJ, Mr. Maurice Boisgard, Mr. Reeve, Mr. Donald Gagnon, Mrs. Odette Gonin, Mrs. Christine Francaire, and Mrs. Sandra Sloan.
Okay, thank you. Could I have someone move this, please? Moved by Mayor Alain Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 16.9, MRC representation on boards of directors. 16.9.1, Shoot Kalunj resolution. My name is beside it, but I believe I'm the member of it.
Well, I would say it. So, c'est pour nommer le représentatif sur le conseil de la Chute Blanche. So, this resolution is to nominate Mrs. Jane Toller, warden of the MRC, for the sitting on the board of Chute Blanche.
Okay. Could I have someone move the resolution, please? Moved by Mayor. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. 16.9.2, Conseil de gérance de l'environnement de l'LNC, resolution Bernard.
Une nomination donc au conseil. Let's appoint Mr. Doug Russell as a representative of the MRC on the board of the Canadian Nuclear Laboratories Environmental Stewardship Council.
Okay, thank you. Could someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Corey Spence. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.9.3 Pontiac Chamber of Commerce Resolution, Bernard Waugh.
Confirme. Donc, cette résolution confirme, et pour confirmer la nomination de la directrice du développement économique, Mme Phillips, conseil de la Chambre de commerce. To considering the importance of the MRC representation on the board of director of the Pontiac Chambers of Commerce, this resolution is to formalize the decision of the Pontiac Chamber of Commerce to appoint Mrs. Cindy Phillips as a member of the board of directors.
Moved by Mayor Odette Godin. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thanks, Bernard. Now we go to our development economic 17.1, the demande financement du MEI pour le développement de la sericulture. Go ahead, Cindy.
Oui, c'est concernant une résolution reçue de la MRC de Haut-Saint-François concerning a resolution we have received from the MRC de Haut-Saint-François asking for us to pass an equal resolution requesting funding from the Ministry of Economy and Innovation for greenhouse development. You have a resolution before you. Considering the diagnosis made by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, or MAPAC, as reported in an article in notre on May 11th, 2020, with few exceptions, greenhouse farming is a fragmented sector which suffers from technological backwardness and underfunding. Considering that, the provincial orientations of the 2018 to 2025 biofood policy aim to develop a product offer that meets the needs of consumers, prosperous, sustainable, and innovative businesses, attractive and responsible businesses, and dynamic territories contributing to the prosperity of biofood to feed our world. Considering that the provincial post-pandemic economic recovery relies on the biofood sector to create jobs and increase food autonomy, considering that the government is implementing the Greenhouse Growth Strategy 2020 to 2025, and this strategy will eventually double the volume of fruit and vegetable cultivation in greenhouses by relying on renewable energy sources known for their low environmental footprint. Considering that the strategy aims to contribute to the achievement of the target of increasing by $10 billion the Quebec content in biofood products purchased in Quebec as provided for in the politique. Considering that Decree 495-2021, modifying the financial assistance program to promote the development of greenhouses covered by Decree number 1248-2020 of November 25th, 2020, was adopted by the Government of Quebec on March 31st, 2021. Considering that the development of greenhouses is related to industry and innovation as much as to agriculture, and considering that currently the funding comes exclusively from the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Food, and that it has limited funds. And finally, considering that the mission of the Ministry of Economy and Innovation is to support the growth and productivity of businesses, entrepreneurship, research, innovation, and its commercialization, as well as investment, digital development, and export markets. Therefore, be it resolved to request the Government of Quebec to grant funding for the development of greenhouse farming through the Ministry of the Economy and Innovation, and that a copy of this resolution be transmitted to Mr. André Lamontagne, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, Madame André Laforêt, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Monsieur André Fortin, MNA for the Pontiac, and Monsieur Jacques Demers, President of the Federation of Quebec Municipalities.
Okay, very good. Any questions? Have someone move this resolution, please. Moved by Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those opposed, and that carries. 17.2 recommendations COVID-19 financial aid resolution. Cindy Phillips.
Oui, résolution pour recommander de l'aide financière sur le fonds COVID-19. Recommendations for financial aid under COVID-19 funding. We have two recommendations before you tonight. The first one is to grant $70,000 to the Pontiac Chamber of Commerce to hire a human resource for a 1-year period with support from the Director of Economic Development. The second, to approve an expenditure of $15,500.36 for the construction of offices in the evaluation department.
Okay, any questions? Could I have someone move this recommendation? Moved by Mayor Doug Russell. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 17.3, committee recommendations, resolution, Cindy Phillips.
Oui, les recommandations du comité d'investissement, the recommendations of the investment committee, the recommendations stemming from the meeting held on November 10th, 2021 are as follows. MRC CI 2021-12-04, a recommendation of a grant in the amount of $8,000.
Any questions? Could I have someone move this
I will.
resolution, please? Aye. Mayor Corey Spence. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 17.4, recommandation du comité d'analyse de la collection d'art régionale, resolution, Cindy Phillips.
Oui, c'est pour l'adoption des recommandations du comité d'analyse pour la collection d'art régionale. So we have a recommendation coming forward tonight from the analysis committee for the regional art collection. A call for projects was extended. We received several submissions that were analyzed by the committee, and the recommendation before you tonight is for the purchase of the artwork titled Sugar Bush by Jelly Massey, an acrylic painting on canvas, size 24 by 24, for the price of $500.
Okay, thank you. Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Brent Orr. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 17.5, recommendation du comité d'analyse du fonds de développement créatif. Yeah. Cindy?
Oui, c'est pour l'adoption des recommandations du comité d'analyse du fonds de développement créatif for the adoption of the recommendations of the analysis committee for the creative development fund. Again, a call for projects was open from October 1st to November 12th, and the analysis committee met to analyze the submissions under the various streams. Under stream 1, which was collaborative projects, there were no submissions received. Under component 2, concert exhibition, we received a project from Maxime Galland for launch of the album Mauvais Temps at the Downtown Cafe in March of 2022. And component 3, which is the creation component, we received a submission from Caitlin Brubacher, a performance artist and director, with a project titled This Hurt, a Gift. And finally, under the COVID-19 pandemic relief and gallery relief, there were no submissions. So you have a resolution before you tonight to accept the 2 recommendations for a $750 contribution to Maxime Galland and a $750 contribution to Caitlin Brubacher.
Okay, any questions? I have someone move the resolution, moved by Mayor Christine Brunker. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Okay, we're going to public safety. Thank you very much, Cindy. We're going to public safety. Julian Gagnon, 18.1, Committee de Sécurité, Fire Safety Committee.
Donc oui, on doit revoir la composition du comité de sécurité incendie de la MRC Pontiac. So the Fire Safety Committee of the MRC has the mandate to ensure the actions provided for in the Fire Safety Cover Plan are respected by all municipalities in accordance with their schedule. It's comprised of DGs, mayors, and fire chiefs from all sectors of the MRC. So it's currently members would be Fire Chiefs Glenn Fleury of the Pontiac West Fire Department, Larry Perry, the Waltham Fire Department, Kevin Kluk of the Campbell's Bay Litchfield and Bristol Fire Departments, Leela Framboise of the Shawville Clarendon Fire Departments, and Denis Chaussee of the Otter Lake and Thorn Fire Departments. Along with them, we have DGs Fernand Roy of Waltham, Isabelle Cardinal from Aileen and Kaywood, and Sarah Bertrand of Campbell's Bay. So to this list, we would add mayors Bill McCleary, Ed Walsh, Alain Gagnon, and Karen Kelly with this following.
Thank you very much. Could I have someone with the resolution, please? Moved by Mayor Corey Spence. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thanks, Julian. Now we go to 19, regional infrastructure, the waterway and municipal dock lighting. Kim Lesage, our engineer, resolution.
La résolution présente concerne l'achat de lumière pour les quais et les rampes de mise à l'eau dans les municipalités de la MRC. Considering that we have just $900 left in the Ottawa River Waterway budget, considering the heavy use of municipal docks and boat ramps throughout the Pontiac, considering the importance of the safety of the dock and boat ramp users, such as boaters, also snowmobile drivers and tourists, it is proposed to purchase lights using the remaining of the waterway budget for municipal docks. It would be further proposed that the lights be identical for all and a common color such as purple or blue so that all users can recognize that these lights indicate a safe spot to get on or off the water.
Any comments or questions? I see everyone nodding. Good idea. Could we have someone move that resolution? Moved by Marilyn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Go on to 20, management of territory. At the adoption of a draft waste management plan, resolution from Jason Durant and Thierry Rambo. Jason.
Oui, bonsoir encore. Good evening, everybody. Donc, resolution for the adoption of a draft waste management plan. Donc, projet de résolution pour l'adoption du projet de plan de gestion des matières résiduelles. Donc, just to give you an example, next steps following this adoption will be write, translate, and publish a summary, online public consultation, public meeting, write the consultation report and modify the plan if necessary, and then send the plan to RECIC Quebec for conformity analysis. So, resolution for this draft waste management plan.
Thank you. Could I have someone move this? Moved by, is your hand up, Doris?
Yep.
Okay. Moved by Doris Rajay. All those in favor? Opposed? 20.2, support to MRC Day Source Bill 103, agriculture related provisions. Jason Durand and Alexandre Savoie-Perrin. Resolution?
Yes, so again, this is a support resolution to the MRC des Sources regarding Article 73, 75 of the Budget 101. This mostly concerns exclusions, demands, and green zone. Donc, encore ici, une résolution en support là, pour la MRC des Sources concernant les articles 73-75 du projet de loi 103. Donc, ça concerne surtout des exclusions, des demandes d'exclusion en zone verte. Donc, demande de résolution, s'il vous plaît.
Okay. Question? No? Could I have someone support it, please? Moved by Mayor Terry Lafleur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 20.3, appointment of members to the Agricultural Advisory Committee. Jason Durant.
Yes, again, resolution for the appointment of members of the Agricultural Advisory Committee. Donc, in other words, this committee is to examine at the request of the county council or on its own initiative, any matter relating to agricultural land planning, the practice of agricultural activities, and the environmental aspect pertaining to practices. Donc, peut-être en français, résolution pour la nomination des membres du comité consultatif agricole. Donc, en gros, ce comité-là, c'est d'étudier à la demande du conseil ou de sa propre initiative toute question relative à l'aménagement du territoire agricole, la pratique des activités agricoles et aux aspects environnementaux qui sont rattachés à cet aménagement ou à cette pratique. Donc, on avait évidemment au plénier des gens là, qui s'étaient portés volontaires. Donc, en gros aussi, c'était d'avoir une représentativité. Déjà des gens, qui étaient déjà nommés, we are certain people. Donc, je ne sais pas si on va de l'avant avec à nommer les gens. Donc, comme je dis, on avait M. Bob Griffin, Mme Rita Payne, David Gillespie, Brent Orr, Pierre-Alain Jones. Et si je ne me trompe pas, c'est ça. Donc, dans le fond, c'est d'aller de l'avant pour ces gens-là, pour siéger sur ce comité. In other words, is to appoint these individuals I just mentioned.
Okay, thank you very much. Could someone move this resolution? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. We go on to 20.4. Membres de la Commission consultative, révision du schéma de management et de développement. Resolution, Jason.
Yes, again, resolution for the nomination of council members for the revision of the land use and development plan. Donc, this advisory committee will therefore be responsible for attending various public participation events and works for the revision of the land use and development plan. This process will involve discussions with citizens, indigenous nations, and various organizations. Donc, en français, nomination des membres du conseil pour la révision du schéma d'aménagement et de développement. Donc, encore, cette commission consultative sera donc responsable d'assister à différents événements de participation publique et séances de travail pour la révision du schéma d'aménagement et de développement. Ce processus impliquera des discussions avec les citoyens et différentes organisations. Donc, évidemment, le but, c'était d'avoir une représentativité par les secteurs de notre territoire. Donc, secteur Est, secteur Centre-Est, secteur Centre-Ouest, secteur Ouest. Donc, au plénier, évidemment, il y avait des gens qu'on avait nominés. Donc, à soir, on officialise le tout. Je ne sais pas si Travis, il y avait la liste des individus.
We see it on the screen. So Mr. Brent Orr, Mr. Ed Wash, Mrs. Colleen Larivière, Mr. Jean-Louis Corriveau, Mrs. Sandra Armstrong, Mr. Donald Gagnon, Mrs. Loris Ranger, and Mr. Terry Lafleur. And the warden is nommé d'office.
Okay. Someone to move this resolution? Move.
I will.
Who was that?
Me, Karen.
Moved by Mayor Karen Kelly. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. 20.5, delegation of power to the clerk treasurer of the Pontiac City Council. Resolution, Jason.
Yes, again, the resolution for the delegation of power to the clerk treasurer of the Pontiac Regional County. So, in other words, in order to set dates, times, and places for public meetings. So here we're talking about Bernard Roy or DG. Donc, en français, projet de résolution pour pouvoir au greffier le trésorier de la municipalité régionale de comté de Pontiac afin de fixer des dates, des heures, les lieux des assemblées publiques.
Okay, thank you. Someone to move this resolution? Olivier, would you like to move it? Thank you. All in favor? Opposed, and that carries. So then we'll go on to 20.6, Service Agreement Land Use Plan, Resolution Bernard Roy.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Donc, cette résolution est pour le renouvellement de contrat de M. Jean-Pierre Valiquette dans le cadre de la révision du schéma d'aménagement. So the last revision of the land use plan was in 2001. And we hope we'll be able to table the first draft of this reviewed land use plan in 2022. We estimate that our planner needs some support from a service provider with experience and well-known expertise. So this resolution is to retain the service of Mr. Jean-Pierre Valiquette as an external professional for 2022 for a maximum of 15 hours per week at a rate of $35 per hour to support the planning department in its revision of the land use plan. It was also authorized Mr. Bernard Roy to sign the service agreement on behalf of the MSC and all related documents.
Okay, thank you. Someone to move this resolution, please. Moved by Mayor Brent Orr. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Now we go on to, thank you, Bernard. We go on to miscellaneous and 21.1, the survey Pontiac landscapes. It's just here for information. Jason, your name is beside it. Is there anything you'd like to say about it?
Actually, I know that the final date is the 31st of January. So
Yes.
if I'm correct, it's online, the survey.
Yes.
But,
Actually, and Alexandre asked me to mention it tonight. Where exactly would people find this? On the MRC website?
I'm pretty sure. So to be honest, Alex forgot to mention.
Okay, so what we will do.
But if I'm correct, it's on the website.
Colleen, probably Colleen Jones.
So, yeah, it will be the website.
Perfect.
Ça va être sur le site de notre web dès la semaine prochaine.
Okay.
Et aussi, on va avoir des copies en papier sur les beaux bureaux aussi.
Okay, perfect. So next week it will be available, and this is a survey, and we would like as many people as possible to participate in it, and it will be available on the MRC website. Thank you very much. Excellent. Item 22 is simply to remind everyone that our next meetings, the plenary Wednesday, January, will be held in the Knights of Columbus Hall in Fort Calanche, and the council meeting Wednesday, January 19th will be back here at the Bryson Lions Hall, because as we know, we can't access LC Gibbons' room in the MRC because it's too small while we have the COVID restrictions. And before we close the meeting, I've been asked by our engineer, who's always thinking of our safety, just to, for those of us who are in the room, she said that the roads are slippery and to be very careful heading home. Thank you very much, Kim. Pardon me? Oh, in the parking lot, even as we step outside, to be very careful. Thank you, Kim. And I would also, au nom de Bernard Roy et de notre personnel de la MRC Pontiac et du conseil des maires, je vous souhaite à tout le monde dans le Pontiac un Noël, joyeux Noël en sécurité et en santé, et une nouvelle année prospère en 2000. And in English, I just would like to, on behalf of our Director General Bernard Roy and all of the staff at the MRC, and many of the mayors have already wished everyone. So just on my behalf of the Council of Mayors, I would like to wish everyone a vigilant, a safe, a healthy Christmas, as well as a joyous and prosperous new year. And we just look forward to next year and hope that it will be a great year for MRC Pontiac. So thank you very much, everyone. And could I have someone move a resolution to close the meeting? And by the way, we're saying goodbye to 2020. Hello to 2022. Moved by Mayor Ed Walsh from Clarendon. All those in favor? Is anyone opposed?
No.
No. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
MRC, what's going on with the shingle mill? There's been a pile of traffic in there in the last 2 weeks.
The shingle mill
Yes.
at Maybeck?
Yes.
Okay, which is in Clarendon.
No, it's not.
I don't have any information, but that's very interesting. I know that the last time we asked, they were.
I do. I know what's going on.
You know what's going on. Karen Kelly, tell us.
It has been sold to a data company.
It's
An
been sold
IT company.
A which company?
IT. It's going to be a computer company.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked the question, Ed, and I'm glad you had the answer, Karen.
You've seen all the traffic in there, but
You know the name of the company?
Came about last week.
Okay, wonderful. Well, that's great news for you, Mayor Clarendon. Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas.
Good night. Merry Christmas.
You too, Doris. Have fun.
Merry Christmas.
Yep.
You too, Donnie.
You too.
Night. Merry Christmas, everybody.